All right, YouTube, we are live. Welcome all. Hopefully, you like the new setup, and I am coming across with no issues. So, those of you that join, please give me the thumbs up. We're going to wait a few minutes for everyone to get live. First, I want to talk about a few things that are trending in the news. One being the gold and silver. Gold and silver prices, as we speak, are through the roof. Gold has now breached the $4,000 mark. It's currently $4,003.81. Silver is flirting with and has broke the $50 mark. It is currently at $49.67. This is a major issue for a few reasons. One, we are seeing things being skyrocketed for no apparent reason other than a possible financial collapse or a collapse of the dollar. I wouldn't necessarily say I would be worried about any of this, but it is definitely something that a lot of alternative media is talking about. It is definitely something a lot of mainstream media is talking about, a lot of YouTube channels. It is a common theme across the prepping community that financial collapse is inbound. I would not worry, as I keep telling you, this channel is not about fear porn. This channel is more so about getting you mentally prepared for anything that can come across. Mark, welcome. Christina, welcome. Hope all is well. Can you give me a thumbs up if I'm coming in clear and the sound is good? I'm trying a new setup with the platform. I'll wait for those. And the title of the today's video is "The Insurrection Act is being invoked." So I put question marks on that. It has not been coming out that it's going to happen, but there are a lot of signs indicating that it will. I know a lot of the channels I was listening today talked about how a lot of National Guard units from different states are either defying President Trump's orders. I don't remember the state. If somebody can correct me or add it in there, there was a state that said that if their National Guard units were going to be mobilized, they were going to protect the protesters and the Antifa. They were not going to protect the ICE facilities. I think Mark wrote Oregon. I think that's what it was. I heard it earlier this morning. And I believe right now the only state or one of the only states that willingly sent National Guard troops was Texas. Texas said, absolutely, use our troops. They're at your disposal, Commander in Chief. And you're seeing a lot of pushback from that. You have Antifa designated as a terrorist organization, and with that designation goes certain abilities of law enforcement. But like I've been talking about for the last week or so, we are on a very, very slippery slope. The reason why we are in a slippery slope, because you're having the president and other entities saying that they're going to be using the different urban democratic areas as training grounds. And like I said before, just because it is going in our favor right now, we're getting the crime rates brought down, the murder rates brought down, the violent illegal aliens being removed from the country because of the wide open border that we had, does not mean that in the future this cannot be used against American citizens. And you're seeing that it is currently being used against American citizens. I'm not speaking bad on that because these people are protesting, causing chaos, ramming ICE vehicles. They are absolutely people that need to be put in jail and removed from the situation. I'm not talking bad about that. What I am talking about is that the slippery slope that we are on, that it is setting a precedent for future presidents to make this move. So all I am saying to you is that if the Insurrection Act is going to be invoked over the weekend or the near future, it is definitely something to have little bells and whistles go off in your ear that something is not right. Because when there's pushback from one side, you're going to have equal pushback from another, and it is going to cause a situation that you don't want to be in. So for those of you that, excuse me one second, did not turn off my phone. For those of you that have not started to prep or get your preps in good working order, I highly, highly, highly suggest you do so. And a good way is to have everyday carries with you. Today's everyday carry item is going to be the multi tool. This multi tool obviously has been used and beat up a lot over the years and is one that I have with me every day. It has a plier, it has a wire cutter, has a seatbelt cutter, a knife, and a screwdriver. Why is this important? I can tell you the countless times that I've needed a multi tool and didn't have one, whether it was to cut something, cut seatbelt, whatever have you. It is definitely something that you should have. So that is a good idea for a prep item that you should be carrying with you as an everyday carry. So let's talk more about the Insurrection Act. The Insurrection Act from 1807 pretty much stops posse comitatus, which has the government not allowed to operate, not the government, the U.S. troops not being allowed to operate on U.S. soil in certain exceptions where there's martial law or there's posse comitatus. There's certain exceptions to that rule. Are we on the verge of martial law? I'm not going to sit here and say no. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that it is not impossible. It is impossible to happen. It's not impossible. With the current way things are going in this world, you have President Trump saying that he's going to be on a third term. How does he get into a third term where it's constitutionally not allowed to do so? You have martial law and you suspend elections. That's how you get a third term. Not saying he's going to do that. I'm not talking ill about the man. I'm just giving you an example. If martial law is invoked, I would not panic. That is the one thing a lot of these channels out here are really pushing is that, oh, panic, panic, sky's falling. Don't panic. There's absolutely no reason to panic. What I can tell you is make sure that you have your preps. If you have your means of self-defense, if you have your means of renewable energy, if you have your means of a food source, you're going to be fine. There's the No Quarters Act. Will that be violated? I would say no, but again, I would, excuse me, be as self-reliant as humanly possible. You saw it during Hurricane Katrina when people were going to the Superdome for help. They weren't allowed to leave. So if you get into a situation where you're going to be going for assistance, and I saw it here during Hurricane Sandy, not 5 blocks from where I am now, when you were going to get help, you left your establishment, your house, wherever it was, and you came back to a looted environment. These are the situations that can happen in these situations. You just want to be low key, stay calm, because you're going to be the voice of reason for you and your family. You're going to be the voice of reason for all of that. Your group is going to look up to you. If you're on this channel right now and you've been a follower from day one, that means you are in the prepping mindset. If you are in the prepping mindset, your family, regardless if they agree with it or not, when catastrophe strikes, is going to look to you for help. And if they see you freaking out, running around like a chicken with its head cut off, you're going to not help the situation, just going to make the situation worse. By staying calm, by talking with a low-key, soft tone, people are going to calm down and they're going to follow your lead. And all I can tell you is stay away from these areas. Do not get involved in any of this. I've said this from day one. This channel does not advocate for violence. The only thing that I tell you to do is defend yourself from serious physical injury and or death or that of another. So with that said, stay out of it and you will be fine. I would absolutely look for a bug out location. I know a few of you in this thread right now have them, and we've talked about it. I know there are people in this thread that have groups that are just preparing for all sorts of disasters. That's the mindset you want to be in. You want to be in that mindset of getting through anything. That's the psychological advantage of being prepared. When you are psychologically prepared, that is half the battle. If you know you can get through any situation, you're going to get through it. There's studies done with rats. They'll take a rat or a mouse, they'll throw it in a tub of water, and to the almost breaking point of that rat, swimming around, and about to give up, they rescue it. They let it catch its breath. They let it take a breather. and they throw it back in the water. When they throw it back in the water, those rats go for hours, if not days, of swimming because they know help came once, help will come again. You're that help in that situation. You're that help for your group. You're that help for your loved ones. You're that help for yourself. You have to have that mental fortitude to get through any situation. I can tell you right now, the first time that I had to apply a tourniquet to somebody, it was after work. I was driving home. This is not a story I talk about very often. It was after work. I was driving home, and I've never used a tourniquet other than practicing for my EMT license. So when I pulled over on the side of the highway, when I saw an individual laying in the middle of a highway, compound fractures in both arms, which means the bones were sticking through the skin. If this man did not have definitive care or any interventions brought to him immediately, he was going to bleed out right in front of me, and this would be a different story. I was able to effectively tie 2 tourniquets to the worst bleeds. With that said, that man is still alive. He made a full recovery, and he's doing everything that he was doing before he had gotten hurt. That's the difference between surviving and not surviving. One, having the mental fortitude to get through it, and two, having the ability to have yourself or somebody else rescue you. The government and first responders, for the most part, are either going to get to you late or they're going to get to you when the emergency is already amplified or get to you at all. These are the things that you want to avoid. This is why I stress each and every one of you to have an IFAC kit, an individual first aid kit. This is why I tell you to have comprehensive training in first aid and CPR. This is why I tell you to stock up on certain items, because you never know when disaster is going to strike. It can strike at any minute. And you're seeing that in this country more and more and more and more, not so much on the mainstream media, but more on the alternative media. You're seeing a lot of this every day. Instagram reels, YouTube shorts, TikToks, where people are fighting against the ICE agents. And they're trying to pass these no-nonsense laws of no-go ICE zones. A good friend of mine works in Brooklyn, and he was telling me that Brooklyn, in the worst part of Brooklyn, has now set up a police-free zone, meaning that police are only allowed to go into the zone if it is a shooting, a stabbing, a murder. That's it. It's a police-free. It's being policed by, and the clowns in New York are letting that go. They're allowing that. You're setting a very dangerous precedent, because you're going to have people that are going to need help and not going to get it, and it's going to be covered up because they don't want to make that situation look worse. So that is today's video. Be mindful of what's going on in the news. Again, silver is skyrocketing right now. Is it a pump and dump? I don't know. Is it going to go even higher? I don't know, but I would definitely be very mindful of that. Go to these yard sales, buy this junk silver, the silverware, whatever you can get your hands on, because buying right now, unless you are financially wealthy like that, it is not really a feasible decision to do that. So with that said, if there are any questions, I will answer some questions, and I will get back on tomorrow, probably tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's a busy day for me. I have a few personal things I need to take care of. So tomorrow might not be a video. The next video might not be until either Monday night or Tuesday, but I'm going to try to get on tomorrow before the extended weekend. So if there are no questions, if you haven't done so already, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the share video, and please, please, please take care of one another. If you haven't done so already, I am back on Patreon. I know a few of you on here are already on there. It is $2.50 for the general all access plan of Patreon. That does not go to me. That goes to paying for upgrades in the, I guess you can call this a studio. It goes into the video feed that I have to use, which is, I believe, Vimeo. That's where that money is going for. There's other levels on there, with that said, that have one-on-one CPR, first aid training, one-on-one prepper time. There's different things you can get on there per month, but that's just entry level is $2.50. So if there are no questions, I will be getting off the air for tonight. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you like the new setup. If you like the new setup, comment so. I will try to get either a flag or a backdrop with some upgraded um, equipment I'll have on here, and we'll make this really more professional. I have a new logo that I've posted on the Telegram group. As much as it hurts me to take the current logo of the City Prepper off, I want to make this channel look more professional. So this is a place you come to for news. And when you share it with people, they don't see a picture of my dog in the living room. That was Knight. Knight passed away about 2 or 3 years ago. Probably the best dog I ever had in my life. But the new logo incorporates the German Shepherd as well as the name. And again, I had posted it on the Telegram group. So again, I will be doing that very shortly. For those of you that are on Patreon, I will be posting more about the Insurrection Act because, again, YouTube likes to censor certain things on here. So I will be adding to that. So it does not look like there are any questions. Guys, pay attention to the news. Pay attention to what's going on. Portland and Chicago and California. I believe New York is next. I believe troops are going to Chicago, San Francisco. And if that starts happening, we will start talking more about what you can do to ensure you and your loved ones are away from any hysteria or chaos. So have a great night and stay tuned for further.